What is up, guys? Brian back here again. Actually, for the first time in a long time. It's crazy to think that I've been gone for as long as I have. Obviously, I put the focus on streaming, and we know how that ended up. So, we are back now, back on YouTube, and I've decided to put a little bit of a twist on things. Obviously, this isn't a live com. This is just me talking. I'm gonna start doing kind of like a Call of Duty news YouTube thing. Not necessarily just news that breaks, but also just other things like eventually I'm going to do my top 5 players from the COD champs, or my top 5 players in Call of Duty, and do my postseason awards, which is like MVP, Coach of the Year, which I think is very, very fair, Rookie of the Year. So be on the lookout for those in the future. Obviously, there's a lot still going on. What you're watching is just gameplay from me playing League Play a couple days ago. So it's just something to put in the background. I'm going to put screenshots over it and stuff, maybe. So I already had a video made, and was rendering it when the Call of Duty Esports Reddit account actually posted roster details and more details about the esports season next year on Reddit. So luckily enough, I forgot to upload my video when I left to go do work stuff, so we're going to chalk that one up, and this is going to be the first video on my channel back. So we're going to talk about a little bit of some Call of Duty esports here. So basically they just said it's a new vision of Call of Duty, detail the roster construction rules and guidelines. So basically it's what the rosters are going to be able to look like, how much you're going to be able to pay them, and all this other stuff, as well as some minor details that are going on for next year's season. So I'm not going to read you the long paragraphs at the beginning. If you have Reddit, get on Reddit, go to the CoD Competitive Reddit. It's the top tagged post on there. You can find it there. It just basically says they've wrapped up COD champs. Congratulations to E United, the 5 guys plus Jacinto Burns. Anybody that works with the E United organization pulling that off, that's an awesome feat. Clayster going back to back after 1,400 days is literally without winning an event is literally remarkable. So 100 Thieves almost made the big run. So let's move on. It says, looking ahead, Call of Duty Professional Esports, we're going to transform into a city-based model. So I think everybody knew that was coming. So we're going to move forward. The construction, it's just saying we're going to make rosters more competitive to provide the best players in the world to compete in the city-based league and blah, blah, blah. So here's the bullet points. Which also, it says below is a summary of key roster construction points for aspiring Call of Duty esports players as teams in the new league begin to build their rosters in the coming weeks and months. So this is the important stuff right here. The next season of Call of Duty Esports for pro players will begin in 2020. The rumor on the deck that got leaked to Deserto a couple days ago said it was going to be January to July, which I think is great because it gives everybody a set time. Because I think there have been times where the first event of the year has been like, we've had one in December, we waited till like January, blah, blah, blah. So it clears it up. We're going to start in January, we're going to end in June, and then we're going to hit the off season until the next game, which is kind of interesting because they get 6 months off. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Pro match play will be 5v5 multiplayer team versus competition. So 5v5 is back for next year. I know a lot of pros had a lot of things to say about 5v5, but we're going to be back. It'll be played on console. Interesting to me, they don't specify which console. I know a lot of MW Modern Warfare content is coming mainly on PS4, like the new alpha this weekend is going to be PS4 exclusive. Probably cross-play in mind, so we might see a little bit more there. The rules may include mid-series substitutions, so that's completely different. Substitutions this year were used in a somewhat unique way. Some places used them better than others. Gingy Nubsy went on one of the podcasts. I can't remember which podcast it was exactly, saying that they used the substitution system pretty much the way that they thought they were going to be used next year. I think it'll be a little bit different, not that similar of a situation, but they were probably the closest to using the subsystem that way. There's going to be an open signing window for all players that starts on September 3rd, so everybody's a free agent on September 3rd. Every org can sign, or every team can sign anybody on September 3rd. The only main exception to that is there is going to be a a grace period for teams that already have that are in the league, say Envy, Splice, etc., like that are going to be in the franchise league. They have the opportunity 8 days before anybody else can sign players to sign the people that were on their roster. So if somehow Envy wants to keep Decimate on their team, they get 8 days before anybody else can talk to him and try to sign him. They can try to get him on their roster. And that starts August 26th, so that is literally next Monday. So we're going to see things starting as early as Monday. I'll do a video on roster moves. We've got a lot of roster moves. That'll probably come out tomorrow. Excuse me. So really interesting stuff there is we've got a grace period for teams that are entering the CDL or whatever it's going to be called that were already in the CWL to be able to sign their players back 8 days before they're all free agents and they're all free for all. So Optic could re-sign the entire 5-man roster if they wanted to. I don't think they will, specifically because I don't think the Optic players will sign. But so moving on, all players will be required to sign a new contract. That's pretty obvious. It's a new league. Everybody's going to be under contract with that league. Between a player and team, the league office will not advise players, teams, and contract negotiations. That's fine. Okay, all pro players in the league will receive a minimum base salary of $50,000 per year. Now, given the fact that the rumored salaries of the players were like $10 to $20 a week, $10 to $20,000 a month. Sorry, not a week, a month. This could be pretty low for some people. So it'll be interesting to see what the negotiations are like in the scene. So moving forward, they also get healthcare and retirement benefits. Distribute at least 50%, and this is another big thing. Teams are required to distribute at least 50% of their prize pool earnings. So no matter what, at least half of the prize pool is going to the players, and it could be more. It just depends on the org, or the team. So let's say the Immortal Optic wants to give the player 75%. That's perfectly fine. As long as it's not less than 50%, it is okay. All player contracts will be guaranteed contracts, so any team that drops a player from their roster without cause is required to pay out that player's remaining salary. So that's just the same as what pro stuff is. Everybody that gets released from their contract, all the guaranteed money has to be paid. So, but in this case, all of the money is guaranteed, so they have to pay all of it. I've already read that. They may offer housing in form of suitable place to live or cash stipend, but are not required to do so. So let's say Optic, for instance, wants to move everybody they sign out to Los Angeles. They can choose to do that. They just have to show proof to the league that they're doing so, but it is not required because it's going to be city-based. People are going to be traveling all over the place anyway. So you can live in your main location, but you don't have to, and that is really the team's choice. If they want to do it, they can. Teams are responsible for coordinating and acquiring visa paperwork, so you got to make sure you don't have an issue like what Dashu went through the first 2 weeks of the league with Optic, where his visa expired and he couldn't play because he couldn't get down to Columbus. Teams may send up to 2 pro players from a roster to compete in the path to pro events. I think this is going to be huge for the AM scene. Teams may contract up to 4 total pro players to have 2-way contracts at a given time. We're going to go straight to the AM stuff here in a second. I think this is huge. Like, no joke, I think this is like massive news. So I think the EM scene is actually going to greatly benefit from this, and there's going to be, obviously we're going to be in a place now where there are going to be scouts, there are going to be stuff like that. People are going to be watching the EM scene much closer because you got to find the future somehow. So when people start retiring, you got to start signing new people, and probably the next 3 or 4 years is when you're going to start seeing a lot of new faces in the league. So, existing Call of Duty World League teams are transitioning to the new league will have the right to match a competing offer made to a player on their current roster from another team in a new league. So, basically, it is kind of like restricted free agents, and that's pretty much what it is. You're under contract. You're not under contract, but your rights still belong to the team. So, people can ask to sign a player from your team, and you can match the offer. And if it works like I think it does, I believe that the offer sheet match means they're going to play for that team regardless. So that's interesting. All the ability to negotiate contract buyout fee. You just got to agree to buyout. That's fine. And such as fees, players negotiated. And that's trades is the only other thing I'm going to highlight about roster stuff. trades are going to take place for the majority of the 2020 season. You're going to see a lot more trades. I don't know how viable loans will be this year, but you're going to see a lot of trades specifically, and that'll be really interesting to see how GMs and how all this whole system works in. It'll be really fun to watch. Now this is where we get interesting. Path to Pro is an online and open bracket tournament competition that returns in 2020. So a lot of people were speculating that there might not be that big of an AM scene because franchising really just takes out the they're going to focus on the franchised league, of course. But Path to Pro is going to come out, and it is going to be a combination of online and LAN tournaments that are going to have prize pools. So the system is going to really help. I think it's really going to help the AM scene. And obviously, like I said earlier, there's going to be a lot of scouts and a lot of other stuff to go around in that situation as well. So I think the AM scene specifically is going to have a lot of eyes on it this coming year and for the future, because you've got to find people to replace the others. So I think the Call of Duty AM scene is going to be a lot of fun. And it also says that I believe Charlie Intel said something about this, that they still plan on making Call of Duty an annual release. Excuse me. They still plan on making Call of Duty an annual release and releasing that stuff that way. So I'm actually kind of excited. They did say there's not going to be a draft. It's going to be all free agency stuff. So next Monday is when it all starts. I'm actually really excited to see what next Monday holds. You're going to see teams signing back players and doing all this other stuff. And I'll put a screenshot of all this stuff on the video. You'll see it on the video before. I'll also post the Reddit link in the description, and I'll post the Charlie Intel link in the description just to give you guys something to go to for better reference, so you can read all this stuff, because I think both sites have pretty much the same information, but I think there are a couple things that are different. This last round of this control is actually really bad. We're playing up a man, and we just kind of we're playing, it's league play, so like nobody's communicating or anything. I've got everybody muted so I can record just the gameplay audio, and we all started just kind of filing in one-on-one, spreading out, trying to go get both points, and we let them get streaks and kind of push us in the back, but we did end up pulling out the win and taking care of business. We just kind of manned them. Like I said, this gameplay is not anything special. I just needed something to put in the background because I don't want to put my giant thing on my face up here. But yeah, hopefully this channel. I have a lot of high hopes for this channel. Gonna have a lot of videos coming out. I don't know about daily uploads, but I think a couple uploads a week will suffice. And as far as the schedule is concerned, I don't really know, because news drops whenever, and if there's something to talk about, I'm gonna make a video and talk about it. So it's just gonna be we'll wait and see. Let's say we'll do 3 uploads a week at the minimum, hopefully, and we'll go forward. I think this off season will be interesting to talk about, because I don't know what all is going to happen. We'll obviously see GM signings and stuff like that in the CDL, so things are going to be changing, and we're going to talk about it a lot. Modern Warfare Open Alpha is this weekend. Really excited to see that. Obviously, everybody's going to get their first-hand look at what the alpha is going to be like. I'm really excited to see that. I've heard a lot. I am very interested to see what 5v5 is going to be like on Modern Warfare, because I don't know, it seems like a slower game that might not necessarily be the best for that situation, but I might be wrong. I mean, I didn't know how 5v5. I kind of liked 5v5 this year. I didn't really have a problem with it. It didn't feel too awful. Granted, I'm not a competitive player, and I just play league play for fun and get smoked anyway. So that's gonna pretty much do it for this video, though. We will be back probably in the next few days to get another video up and talk about some other stuff that's happening. Obviously, we've got some roster moves to discuss, some accusations for coaches and analysts. So there's a lot of things moving forward. We're definitely gonna have to look and see what's coming next. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll close out the last part of this video. There's obviously it's a 6v3, so we're gonna close it out, and I get a grab slam. Pretty dope. So we are going to see you guys next time, and thank you guys for watching. Please hit a like, comment, and subscribe. Comment what you like, what you don't like about the new format. So, without further ado, guys, I will see you guys next time. Peace.